Let me ask you this. Who doesn't feel pretty good when a colleague, a chief nurse, a nurse manager, a faculty, a fellow colleague comes up to you and says, "What an amazing job. You really knocked that project out of the park. You really organized the care of that patient in a crisis mode. I have another great idea, and I think you would be great to lead it." Sound familiar? I'm sure it does. You are an expert clinician. You are a seasoned and well-respected faculty and nurse in your facility and your school. And we love to get little dopamine hits of somebody acknowledging how our skills, right? And our ability to get the job done. And people, now that you're either in school or you're exploring and expanding your interprofessional networks, they recognize your skills. And there are some days when you're going to get offers all the time and opportunities. And here's the deal. Not every opportunity, interestingly enough, is going to take you to the next level of your personal or professional goal, dream, vision. And though we enjoy the recognition and the dopamine hits that come with that, how do you make sure that the tasks you choose to take on are ones that are truly going to edge you forward, right? How do we get that done? How do we move forward confidently? That's what we're going to discuss today. I'm Laura Taylor. I am the owner of the Guide to Degree LLC. It is a small business that has helped nearly 1,100 nurses around the country move forward confidently with the decision for graduate or doctoral education, job pursuits, decisions about professional development and career trajectories. And this is opportunity management, time hacks and other skills to move you forward and keep you confident in the decisions that you make in how you spend your time and which opportunities are not just opportunities across a lifetime, but the opportunity of a lifetime. I do love the fact that you're taking time to watch this video today. One of my very favorite phrases comes from Stephen Covey in 7 Habits Highly Effective People. And he says, we frequently task out our day. As nurses, it's built into our DNA. Our shifts, our time management, kids, families, partners, jobs, meetings, budgets, everything gets tasked out. And we are really good at prioritizing our schedules. And today you're going to spend a few minutes, though, scheduling the priority of you. And that is the play on words I really enjoy. So thank you for taking some time to watch this video. And you should be really grateful that today you are doing something that your future self is going to be very appreciative of. So let's journey along and see what we can do. So today we're going to cover 3 objectives. We're going to talk about strategies for planning your optimal time. We're going to take a look at how you should stay focused in the time spans and the well-planned schedule that you have outlined. And then 3, we're going to take a look at different strategies so that you can consider the multitude of opportunities that will be coming at you, and you can consider them very mindfully and be, again, confident in your decision on which ones you select and choose to move forward with, and which ones you have to say no to. So let's plan our day, shall we? First of all, everybody gets 24 hours in the day. I, you, students, faculty, puppies, everybody, all we get 24 hours. So guess what? You've got to realize that there are ways to optimize your optimal time. And one is, interestingly enough, stop multitasking. Multitasking is a myth. You're really not multitasking. You're simply toggling between two activities. It's kind of like having 40 tabs open on your laptop. Not any one tab gets your full attention. All right? Slow it down. One great way I have found when I'm working with my students and my colleagues is I encourage them to do a little trick. And that is brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand. And the reason I encourage that is because when you do it with your dominant hand, you don't even think. And while you're brushing your teeth, I'm notorious for making my bed, going to my closet, looking, doing a multitude of things, organizing the towels. But when I have to do it with my left hand, it makes me pause. I have to focus. It's not a neural memory lane. I frequently get toothpaste up my cheek or up my nose. But what it does is it forces me to pause and slow down. Number 2, structuring your free time. Well, isn't a free day a free day? It absolutely is. Yet the science and the literature tells us that when you want to feel really good about your free day, you structure a couple of short activities, you conquer them and get them done, and then you feel better about how you spent your free day. Really interesting, right? We love crossing things off, so pick 2 things on your free day and stick to them, and leave the rest a little bit open. With all these cool little ideas on how to figure out your time, the next thing we've got to do is make sure, are you really clear on just how you are spending your day? So back to Stephen Covey and the 7 habits of highly effective people, we've got an opportunity in a well-structured, evidence-based quadrant approach. And you want to make 7 copies of this handout. With this handout, you are going to then write down exactly what you did every single hour. From that list of your hours, you list each item into one of these quadrants. And that's how we'll start to see a little bit more closely exactly how you are spending your time. So, contrary to popular belief, quadrant 1 is crisis mode, right? Everybody's in crisis mode. And don't get me wrong, they do occur. Partners get in car accidents, or, family members get sick, or kids have to come home from school. But in all honesty, the majority of our time is not spent managing a train derailment or fighting off dragons or Death Eaters. We need to identify how many of these do you really manage in a week's time? It'd be interesting to find out. The next thing is quadrant 3. Yes, I skipped quadrant 2. But let's go to quadrant 3. These are the kinds of actions that really aren't essential, but you get these little signals coming in, emails, people knocking on your door. And don't get me wrong, networking is important, but you can also do better at minimizing times that you get distracted for the emails or hallway chatter, all right? And it's other people's problems that you get sucked into. That's quadrant 3. That eats up almost all of our time. The next quadrant is quadrant 4. And this doesn't serve any real purpose. It's gossip, it's all time wasters. There's just nothing really valuable here, but it takes a lot of discipline to stop that train. Finally, where we need to spend a majority of our time, but we absolutely do not, here for quadrant 2. Things that are very important for your personal and professional growth, but because they're not necessarily urgent and you don't need to get them done by close of business today or by the end of the week, they tend to go to the back burner. Yet these are the things that are going to move you forward. And focusing here, let's see how you do after a week. Where did you spend most of your time? And now what we'll do is figure out how to fix and rearrange. Move things from quadrant 4 and 3, minimize them so you can focus more on quadrant 2. First approach, hey, MITs, the most important things. Get those done first. The science is telling us that, and we like this too as nurses, you get the big things out of the way, your 8 a.m. meds, your 7 p.m., 8 p.m. meds, you get those out of the way and you can move forward towards the next little bit of time, right, on your unit. What Stephen Covey, and this is a great video, check it out. What he tells us, if you can get those big jobs done first thing, it leaves the rest of your day for some time to pause, to read, etc. The other day, in fact, we got up and I was like, I want to clean, I want to do the bathrooms and vacuum. And we did that first thing. Coffee, breakfast, vacuum, dust, bathrooms. Boom, knocked out by 10 a.m. Rest of the day was ours. Okay? MITs, most important things first. The video has Stephen Covey bringing a couple of audience participants up to the stage. And he has a big glass, let's say something like this. And he fills it like with 4 big rocks. And he says to the participants, hey, is this filled? They're like, no. And he pours in pebbles, right? Pebbles or some little tiny rocks. And he says, is it filled now? And they're like, yeah, pretty filled. And he says, is it? And he pours in sand, all the little sand. And is it filled now? And they're like, yeah, it's filled. And he's like, no. And he pours in water, all right? And he asks them, what's the moral? And they're like, oh, you can always put in more in your cup. And he says, no. The moral of the story is, if I had filled that cup up with sand and water first, the MITs, the big rocks, would never get my attention. So next is the Pareto principle. And what this says is 20% of your input and activities will actually determine 80% of the rest of your day. Businesses will say that 20% of the customers actually drive 80% of the financing of a company's business. If you can spend 20% of good focused time here, it'll actually determine 80% of your output. Here's another thing is set a time limit for every task. Be very mindful of half work. And what do I mean by that? I've got students all the time who are like, I need to be in the library for 8 hours every Saturday studying patho. And I'm like, do you though? I'm going to give you a little activity. You're going to take some of those sheets and you're going to tell me, you're going to outline, how did you spend the entire 8 hours studying for patho? My guess is you got in, you saw some friends, had a little chat, you got a coffee, you thought, well, I got 8 hours. I'll check Facebook, maybe I'll walk around a little bit, then I'll study a little bit, and then I'll go grab some lunch, and, set a time limit. Good 2 hours, good 4 hours, and then we have to break them up, and that's the Pomodoro rule. Planning ahead, Planning ahead is a great way. Maybe you've heard a lot about meal prepping, right? On Sundays before you go, or I have to get up, and I usually get up at 4 a.m. So I don't want to be looking and rummaging through my closet at 4 a.m. So on some days, I usually outline the different outfits that I need to wear for the rest of the week. That way I get up in the morning, throw back my coffee, throw on an outfit, and wish me luck. Hopefully it'll look okay. But plan ahead. The other thing I do, just an example, is I don't think about what I'm going to eat for lunch. There's only so much space for all the decisions I need to make every single day. I'm not going to waste my time figuring out by going to the cafeteria every day what I'm going to get when I walk through that line. Is it pepperoni pizza? Is it a Greek salad wrap? What is it? Nope, I don't have capacity or space for that. I have the exact same thing every day for lunch. That way I can leave my brain cells open to having to actually juggle something that's important. So what are some strategies to stay focused? One, first, again, track where you're spending your time. If you are a morning person like I am, then dig into the mornings, right? Optimize your optimal time. I am not a night person. I can barely stay up past 10 o'clock, right? So I don't decide that I'm going to start writing my next book chapter at 9:35. That's silly. I optimize my optimal time. If you are rolling at 3 p.m., stick to it. Plan ahead, make a date with yourself, and stick to it. Set the scene for quality work. A lot of folks absolutely like to have a nice room, a clean room, get a candle, whatever it is that says to you, I'm ready to sit down and get this done. And the Pomodoro technique is making sure that you take good breaks intermittently. So let's say you plan for 2 full hours of writing, or 2 full hours of grading papers, or 2 full hours of writing your next assignment. Guess what? The best use of that time is 30 to 35 minutes of focus time with 5 to 10 minutes of break time. So you alternate break with intense thinking. And it's also called interleaving. So you're in it, you get up, you take a little walk, you come back, and sometimes your brain just pulls in the environmental external focus areas and gives you some additional spark. But 30 to 35, 5 to 10 minute break. Now, there are some really great tools on our phones and apps. I'm a huge fan of the Calm app, but I also like the Leech Block, which actually, if I want to spend my 15 minutes surfing the web, being on Instagram, looking at Facebook or Snapchat or Twitch or Stream, then Leech Block, what it does is it keeps me from going too far down. It can turn my browser off after 10 minutes, and it's a signal to me to get back to work. And sometimes there's another one, it's not antisocial, but there's another one that sends up a little message that says, Laura, you have been shopping for shoes for 15 minutes. Time to get back to work. Are you sure you want to keep shopping for shoes, or should you get back to work? It actually gives me a little ping. I need it, believe you me. Now, we're kind of managing our time. We're putting things into place. We're being mindful of how we minimize our multitasking. We stay focused for 30 to 35 minutes. Now, as I mentioned, you've done a great job on this last lecture. You've created an interactive workshop for your students, and somebody recognized it, and they're like, oh man, listen, we've got another project, and you would be great for it. We'd like you to lead it, okay? How exciting. And it is exciting. The more you get your name out there as an expert clinician, as a seasoned faculty, as an exceptionally strong, dedicated student and nurse, the more people are going to want to come at you and get things done. That's why you get recognized. And what a opportunity management system does, it helps you evaluate and select from the multitude of opportunities that are coming your way. A well-crafted decision tree and a process for reviewing and ensuring the purpose of these opportunities will help you support all the other goal achievements that you've got in your head, where you want to go. It helps you identify the best opportunities through informed decision making. So let's talk about these 3 ways of ensuring that you get to selecting the best opportunities for you. One is evaluating the opportunities. Ask yourself a question. Is this opportunity, is it aligned with your mission and values and ground rules and marching orders? Is it something you can do, ideally, well, fast, and with confidence? And what is the time, energy, and resources for it to be a very successful endeavor? Next, you want to analyze those opportunities with the 3 W's. Where did this opportunity come from? What are the causes and consequences? And what are some of the uncontrollable opportunities? Here, you want to make sure that opportunities are aligned with your career goals. Does this opportunity help or hinder achieving those goals? Will you lose anything by going at this opportunity? And let me just share with you that every time you say yes to something, we love that people want us to lead a project. It makes us feel good. We get a dopamine hit from it. They think we're successful. They think we're going to get things done. So they ask us. Well, the deal is, every time you say yes to something, whether it's running the Scholastic Book Fair, whether it's organizing the bulletin boards at work, whether it's building a new module for a course that's not even your course, every time you say yes to something, you will be saying no to something else. Will you lose anything in this opportunity? When does it need to be accomplished? Will you be able to offer me resources that I need? So in order to build a strong opportunity management system, you need to reach out to mentors, your doctoral faculty advisors, trusted colleagues. Reach out early and often for guidance or wisdom. These mentors can offer insights and perspectives on how a presented opportunity will add and contribute to a future self in ways that you can't even see right now. And they offer views on work and school demands that as a student you may not be able to quite understand or foresee. And Sally Helgeson, who wrote How Women Rise, she's also co-author with Marshall Goldsmith, who wrote What Got You Here Won't Get You There. She makes a comment and reminds us that not all opportunities are offered for your benefit. They are provided because you are a go-getter, and go-getters get the job done. So who better to get things done than you? It's one reason you absolutely want to reach out to your mentors. Now, the next thing I want to share with you is, how do I say no? Well, you never say yes or no to an opportunity when it first gets thrown at you. Here's a phrase you want to try. Oh, wow. I am really honored that you thought of me to help you write that promotion package. I think that is so exciting for you, and I feel honored that you feel I can help you and support you. I do have a couple of other things I'm right now working on, so can I have 2 days to look at my schedule and make sure that I can put the adequate amount of time and devotion towards supporting you in moving this application forward. I need 2 days. Those 2 days, call your mentor, get a phone call going, and ask them, do you think it helps me to write a book chapter on the life of the crested gecko when I'm trying to get promoted? So how do you say no? Here's a couple of ways. I, again, cannot thank you enough for thinking of me and that I would be somebody you feel confident in making this happen for you. I just have to say, I went back and I looked at my schedule, and I wish I could put you in there. I just can't do it. I don't think that with the other pieces of my work that I'd be able to dedicate the time and the energy that you absolutely need in order to be successful. So I'm going to have to back down unless you can delay for 4 months. In 4 months, my schedule would open up a little bit. If that's not an option, I've got a really great colleague who would be interested in learning how to write these letters. They've done beautiful publications in the past and also won a couple of awards. I think that they might be a great option. Would you like me to speak with them, or can I give you their name? And what that does is it allows you to mentor folks down. It says to the individual that you're so grateful that you thought of them, but you just can't put that in your schedule right now. The deal is, no matter what, they're going to be disappointed. They want you to help and they've asked you. So yeah, they'll be disappointed. However, they'll be less disappointed and it will wear off much more quickly when you are clear in what you're capable of fitting into your workload early on, as opposed to 2 days before it's due, writing to the individual saying, I wasn't able to get it done, right? Evaluate your opportunities, use the 3 W's, and what are some important tactics and questions you want to ask before taking on any opportunity. And share and discuss these with a trusted faculty, colleague, or mentor. And that's a great opportunity management system. So what have we talked about? We've discussed strategies for learning how to plan your optimal day. We've talked about a couple of ways to stay focused. Just a few great ideas. Finally, opportunities as you continue to grow in your profession are going to be abundant, and yet we cannot say yes to everything. When we say yes to everything, nothing gets done well. So how do you mindfully and confidently unpack the demands of this new opportunity and ensure that achieving and working on this opportunity will get you to where you want to go? I'm excited that we've spent this time together. Please take some moments to complete this quick evaluation. You can always find me. I'm Laura Taylor at Guide to Degree is my website, and I'm always available to help you. It has been a pleasure to share with you some of my skills and my tactics for optimizing my optimal day and organizing the opportunities through a well-crafted opportunity management system. Thank you so much and have an amazing semester.